What's going on, guys? My name is Sheriff, and welcome to your 25th Java tutorial. And in this video, we're going to be learning about variable length arguments. So, as the name implies, variable length arguments simply are used when we create functions and we want to be able to pass in multiple parameters. For example, let's say we make a function and we're supposed to pass in like one or two parameters, but then we don't know which number of parameters exactly we are going to be passing it when we're using the function. So that is, the parameters and arguments can vary. So how do we use variable length arguments? So let's go ahead and let me make a function. So static void, let's call it var args for variable args. So now imagine if we wanted to make this function to be able to perform in different situations. For example, we could pass in one argument, two arguments, three arguments, and all of them will be acceptable. So how do you do this? So let's say we wanted to pass in variable length of type int. So you do int, then you put three dots, 1 2 3, then you give the name of your parameters. So this is v. So now how does this work? When you call this function and you pass in a variable length of arguments, now these arguments are going to be stored inside arrays. So we could just imagine this v to be an array of type int. So this v contains integers. It's an array of integers. So let's go ahead and make a for loop that is going to loop through all the elements inside this array of integers and it's going to print out everything. So for int I equals 0 to I less than v dot length I plus plus. So let's go ahead and print out v system out print line. So since it's an array, we're going to access it the way we access the individual elements of an array. So how do you do that? We type the name of the array and box brackets and I. So now let's go ahead and call this method, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean by when I say variable length. So let's call var args. Now I'm going to pass in one argument. Also, I'll pass in two arguments or any amount of arguments. So now you guys see why it's called variable length arguments. That is, you can pass in any number of arguments you want. 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, we get for var args with 12, we get 12. Okay, I think let's change this to print and so let's run this again. Yep. So now you see this. Now for var args of 12, we get 12. That's what we printed out because 12 is the only element inside this array. For 1 2 3, we get 1 2 3 because this is an array of 3 numbers, 1 2 3, and we printed out each element inside the array. And for this one too, we get 2 3 4 5 6. Now that's the special thing about variable length arguments. You can pass in any number of arguments and they are stored inside arrays. And this is not only limited to integers. That is, for example, you could make it you could make them strings also. Let's say strings. So string 1 2 3, let's call this name. So inside here we're going to look through each string equals 0 I less than name dot length I plus plus. So let's go ahead and system out print name I. Sorry for it. So let's go and print out system open line. So now let's call this strings with different types of strings. So first is Sheriff. Let's say Sheriff, comma, let's say home, comma, let's say Obama. So let's run this. Now you see we get um all the arguments which we passed in into our strings: Sheriff, Sheriff, woman, Obama. Now, one thing about variable length arguments: what if you wanted to give in strings and integers? For example, let me show you guys this method. I think it's better if I show you an example. So static void, let's call this show example. I'm sorry about the naming system of my methods. I mean, that's how creative I am. So now let's say we wanted to give in one string argument, one string parameter, and also a variable length argument or parameters. Now how do you do this? Now this is a rule. Whenever you are giving different types of parameters, that is, when one parameter is just single and the other ones are variable, the variable one should come last. So let me show you guys this. So let's say I want to pass in a string name, and then I also want to pass in variable length arguments. So let's say int, let's call them x. Now this was going to happen whenever we call this method. Okay, let's go ahead and print something out. Show example method. So let's go ahead and call this method, and you guys see what I'm talking about. So show example. So now we want to pass in our show example takes in at least two parameters, that is string name and an array of integers. So now let's give it a string name. Let's say Sheriff. And okay, also yeah, this could be also 0. That is, we could decide not to give any integer parameter, but then integer arguments or parameter, anyone. You guys understand what I'm saying. So now when I want to give in integers, I can just go ahead and give in any number of integers. But then let's assume this int x, let's say it came before string name. Now this is going to give us an error. Variable okay, Java already tells us exactly. Var parameter must be the last parameter, and the reason why is because, okay, for example, let's change this to string, and you guys will see it clearly. Now if we want to call this method now and want to give it different types of strings, so for example, let's say this is Obama. Now this is going to cause confusion for your Java, because for example, Sheriff and Obama, this can be made into an array. That is, which one is which? Sheriff and Obama, are they inside this array, or is Sheriff just the only member of this array and Obama is name? It's going to get confused. So that's why we have to put the variable length at the end, so that Java is going to know that, well, anything that comes after the first argument, that is this, anything that comes after the first argument, which is Sheriff, Obama, for example, let's say home, anything that comes after the first argument is variable length argument. So Sheriff here represents name, and Obama and home represents string x. So now let's go ahead and print this out. So system out print line name, and okay, let's make it for loop. Nope, since we're just putting since we're inputting two arguments, let's just go ahead and print them out instead of making a for loop. Print line x 0. I'm gonna copy and paste this in the next line also. So x1. Now let's run this and see what I'm talking about. Now you see we get Sheriff, Obama, and home. That is, yeah, Sheriff, Obama, and home. That is, this Sheriff here represents this string name, and these last two strings, that is Obama and home, represents the strings inside this array of strings, that is array x of strings. I think that was pretty straightforward though, but then it also might not be straightforward. But if you find it not straightforward, I think you should actually play with it, and trust me, you're going to understand it. And it's actually a very interesting concept in Java. So let me do a quick recap. So variable length arguments are used when we want to be able to pass in different number of arguments when we call our methods. So to make a variable length argument, you specify the type of data which is going to be the parameter, and then you give 3 dots plus the name of your parameter. Now take note that this parameter v is actually an array. So if you want to access the elements inside your v, you have to access them the way you do with an array. So that's why we did system.out.println v and index at I. And second thing, which is another important thing, is when you are using variable length arguments with different types of parameters. So for example, this could be int. So the variable length argument should always come last, or else you're going to confuse your program. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.